Welcome back to Becoming Better Together. I'm your host, Brie. Let's go ahead and get started. Today I want to talk about something that came up for me personally a lot. And it's the fact that it is okay to change your mind and admit you are completely wrong about something. Most of us don't have the ego to be able to do this, but let me tell you, it creates so much space for you afterwards to go ahead and raise your hand and go ahead and tell the world those you love. Yeah, I was totally wrong about this, and I'm going to bury my pride here, admit it, and change my opinion. So many times people are so afraid to do this, and this was me. And where it came through the most for me was social media, which is funny because here I am building a business online. 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I never would have thought this was possible because my opinion of social media was garbage. I was that person that was using Instagram just to send memes to my girlfriends and to my other friends and just sending funny things about just how bad people are and just funny, here's a dog video and here's somebody drinking and beer bonging things. And I was the biggest barstool sports person. I still follow these things, but that was my social media consumption. That and looking at influencers, and saying this in quotes if you're listening to the podcast, just in quotes, influencers, right? I was so freaking envious of them because they're living what I had perceived as the life. They're getting to travel and people are just following them around with cameras in my mind, and somehow they were getting paid for it. And it was all like, oh, I don't know how the heck they're doing this. And I was, at the time, working my freaking tail off in normal, to me, what seemed like normal business jobs. And there's these other people that have these online profiles, and suddenly people are listening to them, and suddenly they're making money, and I'm seeing them on airplanes, and I'm seeing how pretty they are, and I'm seeing how photoshopped they are, and I wanted that, but I hated it because I didn't have it. And because I only thought social media was evil and this place that just fostered all of this jealousy, and all these horrible opinions about myself came out of it as well. And again, I'm using social media at this point in the past for all the wrong reasons. And so I went on this war about how I despised it. I didn't want to use it for a long, long time. Fast forward, suddenly I had to take a hard pivot in my life at some point and realize that the things I was doing, the paths I was going down, the way I was burying my head in the sand, about how I was feeling, how my life had kind of taken some turns and I was no longer on a path that I recognized. I wasn't even a human that I recognized anymore at this point. Social media was doing me no favors at the time. And then I realized one thing: what we focus on matters. And if you focus on all of the negative, all of the bad, all of the problems, all of the judgment, all of the jealousy, all of the fake on social media, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find more of it. You're going to find the jealousy, you're going to find the judgment, you're going to find ways to, while you are scrolling, find ways to hate it. And I was doing this every day, over and over and over. I would scroll, I would find people to judge, I'd find people to criticize, I'd find people to hate. And in turn, it was really because I was hating who I was at this time, and I was letting that project onto everything else in my path at the time. Everything I was seeing and consuming and talking about and talking to, it was all negative. And so social media was one of the things I was consuming the most of. And so of course it was feeding that negativity, and I was giving it right back. And so I had to have a hard look in the mirror one day and really change my mind about it, because I got into coaching. Suddenly I'm a coach that is taught how to grow a business online. Guess how you do it? Social media. Woo! Suddenly the influencers, quote unquote, that I resented and hated and judged, but secretly really just envied and deep down just wanted to be something like them because it seemed so freeing to me. These people that I hated, and I was very public about it. Oh, I'm in business and we don't need social media and all of this thing. I was saying all this crap. Suddenly I'm building a business online and I had to embrace it. And so I had to bury my ego. Woo boy. And I had to come out and be like, listen, these are the tools at our disposal. They're free and we can use them. And if you're looking for bad, you're going to find bad. But something that my coach taught me and me getting into mindset work, what you focus on multiplies. And so I'm focusing on all of the things I hate. And we all do this all the time. But here's the thing. Why don't we just shift that focus just by 2 millimeters and just focus on the things that can actually be good about it? And so I had to start to adopt that. Okay, social media can be good. And because of that, I'm here today. I have this business. I've met so many clients. I've changed hundreds of lives because of social media. This thing that was this weight and I despised it. And then I had to come out and publicly say, like, yep, I'm building a business on it now. And again, bury my ego straight in the sand. And so what I've learned is that, one, it is not very easy to come out and admit that you are completely 100% wrong in one of your very, very strong opinions about something. And the people in your life that now have to embrace this alongside you, they don't like when we change. They really don't. And so sometimes if you are going through changes in your life as well, and you want your family to support you, you want your best friends to support you, and you don't get it, it's not you. I promise, I promise, I promise. It's because in general, we don't like when things change around us because it's a threat to our safety, right? And so when I started this, the criticism I got from my friends, the criticism, I still get, Brie, did you start a cult online? Literally people ask if I've started a cult. The criticism is there and you have to fight through it anyways. And here's the thing, I love social media now. And I will talk about it. I am not afraid to talk about it. I will tell and scream it from the rooftops that I was wrong because I was looking for all the wrong things. And so you can change your opinion. You can change your mind. That doesn't make you a bad person, a weak person, somebody that's just stupid. I had somebody tell me that too, that if you change your opinion on something, it means you're stupid. And so for a long time, we fight. We don't want to change our mind. We don't want to grow into something new if it's too far in the opposite direction of who we think we are in our identity. And so I was dealing with that for a long time. And so for you today, what I want you to take from this is there are 4 things you can really gain by coming out and admitting, yeah, I was wrong about this and I'm ready to change my mind. There are 4 beautiful gifts you can get from admitting you are wrong and growing from it. The first one, your relationships can improve. All right? So think about how many times, maybe you have a partner, maybe you don't. You guys fight because you don't see eye to eye on something. And then the standoff begins. I will be silent here, you will be silent there. At some point, someone will admit they're wrong, maybe, or we'll just be silent forever and we will wait until one person falls. I was this person forever. I was stubborn as shit. Stubbornness wins no wars, by the way. The more you can bury your ego sometimes and learn that it is okay to be wrong, especially when you know you're wrong, but you don't want to admit it because you are afraid to look stupid or to change your mind. There's no weakness in that. It does not mean you're dumb. This is me saying this to myself sometimes again, I thought that for way too long and my stubbornness would run rampant. Even when I would look something up and be like, oh, that fact actually is wrong, I still wouldn't admit it sometimes because I didn't want to be wrong. And we have very, very strong egos. And by challenging them, it can make us feel very fragile. And so we often don't. So if we are willing to admit that we are wrong sometimes, that it is okay to change our minds, the relationships with those we love around us can get stronger because we can start to be more flexible and we can see from their point of view. Your spouse, you don't have to play the silent war anymore. Who will fall first? Be the person that raises their hand and says, yeah, I'm willing to bury my ego. I'm willing to admit when I am wrong and maybe there's some gray area here and maybe we can both learn from it. So first thing, if you change your mind, you admit you're wrong, you can improve some of your relationships, especially with those people closest to you. The second gift of admitting it is okay to be wrong, it is okay to change your mind, is you are actually going to open yourself up to new possibilities. And this is what happened with me in social media. When I was looking for all of the bad, all the many reasons to hate it, I was finding them, trust me. But if you can pivot and start to again, wait, maybe this can be used for something good. Maybe there are good people here. Maybe it doesn't have to be so fake. maybe there can be some knowledge and something gained from this. Suddenly, you've turned your RAS, your reticular activating system, on in your brain to start looking for something else. It is a filtering system that we have because we take in so much information all day long. And so our brain filters for us throughout all this information and puts in our awareness the things that we are actually asking it to look for. And so when I'm looking for bad, I'm finding bad. This will happen for everyone. This will happen for you. If you then start to say, okay, I was wrong, let me just try to look for some good. Guess what you're going to find? You're going to find all the ways that social media doesn't suck. It's not terrible. You can find so many great, wonderful, genuine humans there. And so when I opened my perspective up and said, okay, I'm going to look for possibility now, instead of problems, no more of this closed-minded bullshit I was going through. I'm going to start to look for possibility. I'm going to look for potential. And guess what? I found it. There are plenty of good people, just like you and me, on social media that don't care about all of the fake stuff, that just are here to connect with other humans. And that's the whole point. Social media is to be social with online. And you can meet amazing people. And so when I started looking for that, guess what? I started to receive it, and it blew my mind open. All right, so gift number 2, it opens you up to new possibilities. Okay? Gift number 3, suddenly you allow flexibility in, okay? And once you begin to get flexible with certain things in your life, your ego, this ego that drives us and can hold us down and can keep us stuck, your ego starts to get a little more flexible too. And suddenly, think about political parties. Suddenly that friend you have that is the staunchest Republican, that maybe there's a policy that has been made and they don't agree with it. But deep down in their heart and soul, they're like, oh shit, I have been this for so long. And then the ego comes out and it says, oh crap, it's questioning my identity now. I have to be this still because I have been this forever. And suddenly it gives us room to now decide, can I be flexible here? Does this opinion have to mean this is who I am? Or is it just an opinion I can change my mind about and we can have flexibility? And our opinions don't have to define us anymore. That's something I see so much with coaching too, with clients. We get so stuck as, no, this is my belief, and if I change it, I'm not the same person anymore, and I don't know who I am, and our ego just wins all these wars with ourselves. But guess what, guys? We can change, and we do. Progress is good. Progress equals happiness. And in order to progress, change has to be made. Change has to come. And so if you allow some flexibility in with your own opinions, it is not a shot to your ego. It's not a shot to your identity. It's giving you room to grow and expand and allow more to come into your life. More knowledge, more flexibility, more people that can see from this new point of view, and you're not closing yourself off anymore into this little tiny lane that you've been driving down being like, nope, this is who I am, the end, full stop. Okay? You allow flexibility into your life, which is beautiful. And then the 4th thing that changing your mind and admitting you are wrong allows you to do, it opens you up to learn again. And so many times we stop learning. We get out of school, we graduate college, you get into the working force. We don't want to learn anymore. We've been doing it for how many years? And suddenly we're like, nope, knowledge is too, I don't need it, whatever. And we get stale and we get stagnant and we get bored. And we forget how exciting it is to learn and to grow and to have something new come into our realm that we can be excited about like little kids. What was your favorite class in school and why? I bet it was just because you were learning something new that was like just constantly exciting to you, right? And we forget that over time. And because we run in the same day over and over and over and over, we go to the same job, we have the same routine, we talk to the same people, we watch the same shows, we listen to the same podcasts. We forget what new feels like. We forget the excitement. And then again, our ego takes over and we think we know who we are and we've defined ourselves as that. It's very black and white, the end. When you're willing to be like, yeah, there's room here to grow. I was totally wrong. I see it now. I'm ready to learn from you, learn from somebody else, learn from somebody that's on the other side of that opinion. Suddenly, the world's new and exciting again. And you can start to see something new and exciting and learn and grow and bring in new information. And guess what? When we're bored, progress goes to die. When we're bored, self-sabotage runs rampant. When we're bored, we get complacent, our goals get completely buried, and we don't move forward. We get stuck and we get depressed. We get depressed, we get anxious, we get mean, we lose our relationships, we lose some of our values, we lose who we are as people if we get bored for too long. So sometimes we fight new and we fight change and we fight variety, but as humans, it's one of the 6 needs that we fundamentally have. We need variety, we need change. We cannot stay the same forever, or you will bore yourself to death. And so being flexible in yourself too and saying, I'm ready to take in new information and learn again. It's okay to be wrong, like bring it at me. Come on, universe, teach me something new. Life gets so much more exciting again. And so for me, with social media, how it showed up here, I know way more now about social media than I ever thought I would ever need to, but it's exciting. And in the beginning, this thing that I was fighting, I don't want to learn how to grow here and blah, 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 all of these little things coming up in my head. I'm starting to absolutely love it. There's a lot of tricks. There's a lot to learn. There's this vast world of knowledge. And in the past, again, I could have fought against this really hard and not want to learn any of it. And now I'm a student again. And so every day there's something else to learn and grow and change, and it's exciting. So watch your focus here. When it comes to yourself now, this is what I want you to think about. Where do you have just a really strong opinion that maybe is no longer serving you? Is it keeping you stuck? Is it keeping you inflexible? Is it keeping you around people that maybe you don't want to be around anymore? Maybe it's bottling or being the bottleneck in your relationship. Maybe it is something that's causing you a rift between you and some of your family members. Is it something that it's okay to say, yeah, I'm going to admit it now, Brie, you're right. My ego's gotten in the way here. I don't even believe this anymore, but I'm too afraid to admit I was wrong because I don't want to be seen like a failure. I don't want to be seen like I'm stupid. Let me tell you right here, you are not. It is good to change. It is even better to take ownership and say, yes, I was wrong. Yes, I'm willing to learn again. Yes, I'm willing to try again because I like new and I like growth and I like change. Because that will establish in you so much more than holding on to this old opinion that keeps you stuck and keeps you stagnant and keeps you still. So, where in your life is it maybe time to say, yes, I am very wrong about this and I'm ready to come forward. Maybe it's just putting pineapple on your pizza. Maybe it's an old disagreement with your spouse that you're like, yeah, it's finally time to admit I was totally full of shit there. Whatever it is that you can come forward today and be like, yeah, I'm ready to change my opinion on this because I'm tired of being weighted down by it. Go ahead and do it. I hope this can help you the same way it helped me. I was able to break free some of that, and I don't look at my feed the same way and have resentment and envy and jealousy and all of these feelings. I cleaned my feed. I use this for good. I'm harnessing the power to grow the best I can and help impact people around me. Talk about a complete shift of perspective. So, if I can do it, you can do it too. If you got some value out of this today, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode and that we can continue this journey every single day to become better together. I'm your host, Brie. I will see you next time.